I'd like to call the Board of Public Works meeting of December 11, 2012. So ask if anyone is recording besides LCAT. Seeing no one, I think we're set to go.
Make a motion that we approve the minutes of the November 26, 2012 meeting.
Second the motion.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Aye.
Executive?
No?
Yeah, no.
They were executive
They were
minutes.
executive minutes. So I
Sorry
make a
about
motion that we accept the minutes of the executive committee, executive meeting of 11/26/2012.
Second the motion.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Now we'll go to an I and I update from Mr. Kelly.
A lot of ayes. Yes, as the board might be aware, we've had two contractors in town, New England Pipe Cleaning and Green Mountain Pipe. Both of those have completed their projects. With the, we broke it down to test and seal and pipelining. The test and seal where they went in, cleaned out the lines, cambered them, and then they sealed all the joints. On that project, we did 4,149 linear feet. A lot of it was in the area of Indian Spring, but we also did some on Maple Street, Birchland, Melwood, Pleasant, Westwood, and Wilder. With the bid price, that amounted to $7.71 a foot. The pipe lining project, we did about 2,280 feet. That was on Elm Street, again up Indian Spring, Heatherstone area, John Street, Savoy, Alpine, Alvin, Crane Avenue. That broke down to about $39.24 a lineal foot. Trying to translate that, calculated out the infiltration that we've reduced by lining and sealing those pipes. So on the sealing of the joints, we've reduced the annual flow going to Bondi's by about 29,750,000 gallons.
Wow.
And on the pipe lining, we've reduced it approximately 20 million gallons. And I'm not sure what we're paying. I couldn't find that for sewage costs.
Well, I can quantify it, but not sitting here off the top
Yeah.
of my head. I can
But the
put a number on it.
payoff will come probably in less than 2 years easily.
If you're dealing with that kind of gallons, yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, when we did it, we did target the heaviest areas. Some of the pipes that were lined, it was more structural rehab than anything because of some of the potential cracking we've had and stuff like that.
The ones you relined.
Right. But we've really, particularly in the Indian Spring area, that's where the majority of both the projects concentrated. So
Are we going to continue, or are we out of funds, or are we?
I think we would like
Just
to.
a test to see how it worked.
With the board's permission, I'd like to proceed and choose some other target areas, because we do have available funding to continue the project. If it's okay with the board.
These
It
kinds of
makes sense. I
savings,
mean, you're
yeah.
talking 40 million gallons of water?
Yeah, almost 50.
50.
Yeah.
Wow. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
So it's been long in coming, but worth the wait.
Excellent. Anything else, Howard?
No?
New town website.
I believe Sean sent you folks a email with the new address of the town's proposed website on there.
I didn't see anything about DPW. I saw all the other departments on there, but I didn't.
You couldn't
see.
find us?
No.
No?
I found everything else. I
Look
looked-
under, that's one of the corrections that we'll be making Thursday. You have to look under departments, Public Works. It's not listed under boards. Why they initially set it up that way, That was one of the few things I didn't have permission to change, so. We have the lion's share of pages,
Yeah,
once you get into it.
I saw the selectmen ones, I didn't see ours, so.
We have a lot of the office forms that we hand out frequently, transfer station rules and regulations and fees. We have we'll be setting up, it's set up, but we'll be using for any of my coworkers that want to send me photographs, we'll have a photo album on there, we'll show projects and whatnot.
Excellent.
A lot of stuff.
Good. So if you have any questions, feel free to, send us.
Or once
A
you do
message
find it,
anytime.
yeah, if there's something you want me to add, I'm more than happy to, or.
Okay. Other business?
I gave you a round one breakdown of a proposed fiscal year 2014 operating budget. This is just the summary sheet. As you know, there'll be plenty more to come, all the backup material, but thanks to Shirley, she got all the numbers put together. And so we figured why waste time, we got it summarized here. The only changes on here, except for salaries and contractual items, if you notice under highway, I highlighted overtime. I would propose that we increase the overtime for the highway division by $10,000, from $15,000 to $25,000. This is primarily due to our latest contractual agreement where a callback is now 3 hours instead of 2 hours. We can already see that that's having an effect on our current budget. The other thing is, at the bottom of the page in the water division, I've increased the amount of money for the purchase of the drinking water I upped it by $41,000 because based on our preliminary discussions with the Springfield Water and Sewer Commission, it seems that there might be a substantial increase coming due to various capital projects and other added operational costs. So like I say, just for starters, I brought those numbers up. I give it to you I give it to you, early, so you can just take it and take a look at it and come back with any questions or comments. And then when we obviously we'll be going through the full review of the budget process once we get everything on paper.
Can we, I know last night we met with capital planning, and we've been looking at our expenses for maintenance of vehicles. And last year we received no vehicles, and the year before we received vehicles, the year before that we didn't receive any vehicles. And in FY 2011 we had $74,000 for repairs, and it dropped down to $67,000. And in talking with John before the meeting, how things were going, we seem to be very far ahead of our what we've been appropriated for vehicle repairs. The budget so far this year, we spent about 60% of the budget, so just wondering if we're going to run short in that account. That should be.
Well, as you know, it's still a little too early to tell. We haven't even hit the 6-month expenditure time yet. But yeah, for sure we're well ahead of the expense curve than we have been. I mean, one good thing on one hand and bad thing on the other hand. There is a little room here, rob Peter to pay Paul, because the other expense is a line item, so monies can be switched around here between categories. Not something you want to do all the time, not really the purpose of trying to just, put a proper budget together, but unfortunately, this is what we sometimes have to do. As time, gets, within the next several weeks, when this thing gets finalized, we'll even have a better idea. And perhaps those numbers should be adjusted. So we can talk about that.
Yeah, 'cause the only increases we're really asking for is just basically wages or contract-related expenses. Everything else is zero increase.
Right, well, as you know, every time, for the past several years, when we meet with the Appropriations Committee, our marching orders have been hold the operating expenses level funded with only contractual agreements and salaries to be increased. Unless you have a darn good reason for the extra request.
Has that already been set for this year?
No.
I have the budget templates from the accountant's office, but I don't have any directives as far as what to do.
So Danny's point might be, we may want to at least think about that number, having some kind of increase just based on,
Especially if they're not gonna give us no more trucks. I mean, what we got out there for trucks right now, I mean, they're obsolete and they're falling apart, so you're gonna definitely spend more money keeping them running.
right? Okay, good catch.
So that was,
We've just been going over that the last
Yeah.
2 days in preparations for the capital planning committee meeting, so. Okay.
so like I said, I'll give it to you, so you can take a look at it, and if anything else,
Okay.
let me know. And then I also give you, as a result of the meeting with the capital planning committee, one of the suggestions that they had when we reviewed our equipment request with them, they suggested that for the replacement of pickup truck number 15, that it be paid for 50/50 out of the sewer and the water funds. So I just did this sheet up just to show what that's gonna look like should the board, decide to entertain that idea.
Right.
And I also attached copies of the water and sewer breakdown. It's the same as I gave you a while back, because I am still, these numbers are not solid, because I'm still waiting for long-term debt interest balances from the town accountant's office, so I can firm these things up, because I haven't received those figures yet. So as soon as I do, all the, accurate idea of what this really looks like.
But there's a guesstimate plugged in?
I did not plug in that truck.
No, I mean, debt and interest is guesstimated in here.
It's guesstimated.
Okay.
It's close,
Transfers from undesignated being 0 and 13, does that mean something?
That's, you're looking under sewer?
Yeah. There wasn't any?
There wasn't any for that.
Okay.
And the 65 and sewer transfer undesignated, that's what we're gonna, for the purchase of that generator?
Yep.
And then for the following 2 fiscal years, we didn't have anything because we still have enough money to spend to cover what our plans are for continuing the I&I.
So it's early for the rate change, but we're still holding our own, and pulling that one truck
Right.
out of 50/50 is reasonable.
I think so.
Yeah,
It kinda makes sense, yeah.
All right, I like it.
So that's,
Anything else on that?
So the I&I is the 65,000? Is that
no,
what?
No.
the 65,000 is for the generator.
Okay.
There's no additional money asked for I&I. We've got ample money
To keep doing that?
to keep doing that.
Yeah.
Like it.
And that's gonna end up saving us money anyways. It should almost pay for itself to do it.
Exactly.
What's the 2-year payback?
Yeah.
Other business?
Remember a couple of weeks ago, or a couple of months ago, however long it's been, I spoke to the board about various requirements that the Mass DEP has put upon us regarding our drinking water, that we have to have a certain number of individuals licensed with both distribution licenses and treatment licenses by the first of the new year. Well, I'm happy to report that both of our pumping station operators have successfully passed the examination for the Treatment 1 license. So that puts us in statutory compliance with Mass DEP because they wanted 3. I have the 3rd one, so we at least meet the regulations as far as that goes. But we still need to get at least one more individual from the workforce to be licensed. We have a couple individuals in mind that appear to be willing to step up to the plate and start learning some of that work, which would be beneficial for everybody. So,
Excellent.
so that's a good thing. Harkness Pump Station update, the pre-construction meeting was held this morning. Sean, you want to brief us on that?
Standard pre-construction meeting, the key things we're dealing with on that project, there's about a 4-month lead time on the building itself. The contracts will be signed tonight by town council and selectmen. Even without signed contracts, the contractor has agreed to move forward. So we're going to be getting together some shop drawings as quick as possible and be dealing with the manufacturer of the building. We know what pumps we're after, so it should be relatively quick. I would like to say that probably within 2 to 3 weeks, the building and all the equipment within it should be ordered. And hopefully we'll be installing that by April 1st and moving forward.
That's all I had, unless Bruce or John.
Bruce?
Sure. Brief update regarding the Birchland Park window deterioration.
Yeah.
The manufacturer, the actual total has gone down from 102 to 100. The manufacturer has agreed to replace all 100 units.
Wow.
Low sash only, right?
Sash only. They're going to
Yeah.
obviously ship them to us. We're going to install them as obviously the schedule allows. So, but they've agreed to replace all the units. We've sealed up the entire first floor on the exterior, all the silicone, for all the glazing and everything else. We'll continue that process this spring, obviously because it's getting too cold out to be using that stuff outside. So, some good news there.
Excellent. So it'd be mostly just labor on our part and some silicone.
Yes, exactly.
Windows they're giving us.
Yep.
To set the sashes.
Yep, we
Awesome.
did a full inspection, so everything's looking good.
Awesome.
We do have some issues regarding some asphalt shingles over at that facility also. I've took some samples, sent them off to TAMCO, working with the school department. We've got some hairline cracks in a lot of the shingles on that roof. So I'm waiting for a determination from TAMCO regarding those shingles, if it's a defective shingle or it's a ventilation problem or something along those lines.
How many years shingle was that?
25-year shingle.
25-year shingle?
Yeah, so I'm working on that also.
The building is what, 12 years? 12 years old?
Yes, yeah, 2000, yeah.
So half the life.
Yeah, exactly. So, like I said, it could be numerous things, but we'll wait and see what they have to say. Also, Capital project update, LCAT studio, rough framing, and electrical has passed inspection. Sheetrock will be completed by the end of this week. Substantial completion has been moved up one month from the end of February to the end of January. So things are moving along there well. Brief update as far as design selection committees. We narrowed down the school facility study to a single firm, SMMA Associates out of Cambridge, Mass. The school department is currently negotiating their fee proposal. So we'd be hopeful to be moving forward on that project probably after January 1st. The design select committee for the Pine Knoll pool replacement, RFQ will be available starting December 12th. Walkthrough will be conducted on January 3rd and due by Friday, January 11th. The next designer selection committee for a municipal space study walkthrough will be December 17th at 10 a.m. for all interested firms. That will be conducted on Monday of next week. We'll be visiting all town buildings, town hall, COA, fire, police, DPW, and then up to the Pine Knoll facility. RFQs will be opened on January 3rd at 12 p.m.
Okay. Good work.
I do have one other just thing to mention, the crossing device for the Maple Street, for the rail trail. I signed the Chapter 90 request earlier this week, and I believe you brought it down to the selectman's office.
Should be before him tonight.
So the selectman sign it tonight, it'll go to Northampton, get approved, and we'll be able to purchase that device for the crosswalk.
Excellent. John, do you have anything for us?
Well, the blacktop plants, I believe will be closed the latter part of next week, Friday, and we're doing the best we can to get caught up on all the road work. The mild weather's allowed us to do a few water and sewer installations that would not have normally been able to do at this time of year. I do have a little bit of an issue with the Barton Park I'd like to bring to your attention if I could. When they put their fence in, we have a faucet on each side of Heritage Park for public use. And you know that people have outings there. They have the structure and the grills. They fenced in the one faucet on that side of the park and installed an underground line to the faucet. In doing so, they removed the backflow device, and we're very serious about the quality of water in East Longmeadow, and we're mandated. It's something we must do, and we really enforce. And they tied directly to the line, and then split it off to different lines to feed these dog bowls or whatever they had there. And hadn't contacted us. I knew nothing about it. The supervisor had gone out. One of the supervisors had seen it and brought it to my attention, so we went out and put another hose bib vacuum breaker on it to make sure that there was no back siphonage into the water system of any kind. And they removed it again. So we shut the water off, went back out, put one on, snapped the nut off so it can't be removed. And I had a conversation with one of the gentlemen that was here through most or all of the meetings that we had with the park people, and he said he just wasn't aware of it, and that was you know, we at the same time, you know, and I spoke to Mr. Gromowski about having to put another faucet in so other people have access to this water. In between then and now, maybe 6 weeks ago, I was told that the people that they had that were dumping the dog waste for free, the volunteers, had stopped. I said, we can't do it anymore, we can't afford to do it anymore. And it fell to us, and there have been bags and bags of this dog waste, and we have removed it. And I think it's just important that the board know that what wasn't gonna cost the taxpayers in East Longmeadow any money now is. I mean, we do have to go there, we do have to remove it, we do have to dispose of it. And through all of our meetings, the best of my recollection is this was gonna be taken care of by them exclusively without any interruption in town service or any cost to the town. And that has not been the case. And with that,
My thoughts? I mean, I think it's ludicrous if he thinks he's gonna box off the water so other people can't use it and risk the fact that he's gonna get fecal matter into the drinking water. I mean,
That's fixed, right?
it is fixed.
I mean, who did he think he was by doing those things?
And again, they hadn't contacted us in any way, shape, or form.
And install a water line too?
They did, they put an underground water line to the faucet, and they came up along the pole and connected it to the
I
faucet
mean,
itself.
is it possible to bring him back in here and tell him that he's not living up to his part of the bargain?
I would think
I
so.
think so. I-
Because,
Or at least a meeting in the office.
because if he's not gonna live up to his part of the bargain and we're only 2 months into this, it doesn't look like this thing's gonna work out very well.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how you feel about it.
Yeah, no, I'd bring him into our next meeting if possible.
But the most, and equally as important, I think, and certainly the water quality is important. I think that we can enforce certain things but the fact that we are, the labor isn't as big a concern as the fact that the town's paying to get rid of disposing of this material now.
How does
And,
that happen? Where does it go?
Well, we drive it directly, and in the beginning, we disposed of it through our trash system. Now we drive it right down to Bondi's and dispose of it that way.
That's what's supposed to happen to
Yes,
it? Or-
yes. And there's a bit of a cost, and again,
So
reflecting back on all the meetings, there was to be no cost to us, and
He's not living up to his bargain and you're only 2 months into this thing.
Well, the question is, bring them in here and talk about it. I
Yeah.
mean, it is highly used. The question is it highly used by, what's the value to the town? Is it highly used by the taxpayers? Is it highly used by transients who are also supporting businesses in the town? It is highly used. I go by there enough to see that there's lots of activity, not unlike soccer fields, baseball fields, football fields, and the like of other things that happen that we also maintain or pick up, so. I think we bring them in, ask them what's going on, find out what our options are. I guess we need to know some costs kind of thing, maybe just to get a feel for it.
Yeah, I think without bringing him in here, I understand his side.
Okay. That works. Else?
no, sir.
Good? Sean? Good? Everybody else? Anything else? All right, so I will entertain a motion.
We can schedule the next meeting before we go
Oh,
into
yeah, we
executive
should do
session.
that because we're not coming back, right?
Right. 2 weeks is Christmas, 3 weeks is New Year's.
Perfect. You bringing the turkey or the ham? What's going on? It's your birthday too, isn't it?
You get one coming up?
Christmas, I'm a Christmas baby.
Really? I got a brother that's day before.
So what are we thinking? We need to get off of those days and have a meeting? Do we not have to have a meeting till
I-
next year?
I don't
Happy
have
New
any,
Year?
I don't anticipate any bid awards or anything like that.
You guys wanna just do a Happy New Year, see you on the 8th, and then if we need a meeting, we'll call it?
I'll go a whole month.
Works for me.
Okay.
I mean, if we need a meeting, we just call a
Yeah,
meeting,
yeah,
right? We
yeah.
just need 24 or 48 hours to post it.
Depending on type of meeting.
You don't want to come here on your birthday?
I'm fine with it. It's just another day in my life. Stop counting them.
Did you say the 8th?
The 8th, 5 o'clock?
All right, before we go on executive session, We normally have a little get-together in the office. I think we should, if we're gonna do it this year, we should plan it.
Do you have a proposed
I
date?
don't, next week sometime.
Anybody all around or not around next
Just a
week?
little luncheon we get together at the office.
Like you did last year.
Yeah.
You tell me.
Thursday the 20th, Friday the 21st.
How about,
Off.
21st?
21st.
What, not good? Are you
No,
off?
then, I came in, I
20th?
usually come in, John.
20th? I don't really care, I don't think. You have a day better or worse?
how about Thursday the 20th?
Yeah.
Okay,
What time?
noon,
I know.
high noon,
At noon.
sounds good.
Okay. Motion to go into executive session, not to return to open session for the purpose of strategy with respect to litigation.
Need a roll call vote?
Second.
Oh, I need a second.
Second.
And a roll call vote, Tom,
Aye.
Dan,
Aye.
John, aye. Okay, we're all set.